To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here age relives fond memories of the past. And here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Disneyland is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Explore the Mouse Podcast, a podcast by Disney lovers for Disney lovers. Come join us as we dive into the wonderful world of Disney. Here is your host, Eric Augustus.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Explore the Mouse Podcast. It is a Disney podcast by Disney lovers for Disney lovers, and a way to hopefully convert the lost. Welcome to episode 4. I'm really excited about episode 4. Only reason why is when you guys listen to this, this is pre-recorded, obviously, but when you guys listen to this, I am already going to be at Disney. I will be, actually, it'll be my second day down in Orlando. So, I'm really excited about talking about this one because as you're listening to it, I get to go live it. And I'm talking about the Magic Kingdom. As you can see from the title. The title is Magic Kingdom. Now, you're going to notice something that in the title, the Magic Kingdom title says Main Street USA. The reason I'm doing that is similar to Disney Springs, is there is so much to talk about that I could probably do a 3-hour episode just talking about it, and you don't want to listen for 3 hours, so I'm going to break it up once again into different parts. I'm going to break it up into different lands. I'm going to do the Main Street USA, which leads all the way up to the castle, and then I'm going to kind of scoot on over and do Adventureland in the next episode after that, and then we'll do Liberty Square and Frontierland together. We'll do Fantasyland by itself, and then we'll go all the way over to Tomorrowland, and we'll do Tomorrowland, and then that'll wrap up that one, and then who knows what's else after that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. And that's up to you, too. If the listeners want to hear about something specific, please write me on Facebook on the Explore the Mouse, and let me know if you something you want to hear. If you have something specific about Disney that you want me to talk about, let me know, and I'll do it. I'm only going down a list of things kind of that I think should work, and since I'm kind of in the beginning stages of it, I'm like, well, you know what? Let's go with the basics. Disney Springs. Let's do the parks. Let's do some hotels. So after the Magic Kingdom, I'll probably do some parks. Only reason why, or some hotels. Only reason why is because when I'm down there, I'm going to go visit some different places too, so I can actually talk about them. I'm not staying at Disney. Sorry. I'm actually staying off property. Only reason why is because I found some really nice cheap hotels at a really, actually not even a hotel, at a great resort. So I'm staying off property, and I do like to stay on property if I can, but sometimes you're on a budget and you have to make that budget work. So that's what I'm going to do. I am going to make that budget work as best as I possibly can. But I'm also going to try to go sneak into some resorts as well. And just kind of, take a look around and, do a vlog and then get some information for our podcast. And, we'll go that route. But if you have anything you want to hear, let me know and we will talk about it. But today we are talking about the Magic Kingdom at Disney World. Fun fact about Magic Kingdom, actually. And I'm gonna let people know this because I had a conversation with my wife one time because I called Disneyland Magic Kingdom, and she said it's not Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom is in Orlando. Yes, currently it is. Disneyland is called Disneyland, Magic Kingdom is called Magic Kingdom. But when Disneyland originally started, it was called the Magic Kingdom. And even to this day, if you're over at Disneyland at the train station, you'll actually even hear the conductor and the announcer at the train station announce Magic Kingdom. Only reason why is they changed it when they built Disney World in Orlando. They changed it to Magic Kingdom to differentiate the two different parks, Disneyland and Disney World. So that's why Disneyland became Disneyland and not stay in Magic Kingdom. But if you look at the two, they are pretty much identical. There's a couple little small differences. Some of the rides are a little bit different. Some of the areas, like New Orleans Square, which there really isn't a New Orleans Square over in Magic Kingdom in Orlando. But over in Disneyland, they actually have a full New Orleans Square. It is amazing to look. The Pirates actually ride over there is actually my favorite. It's better than the one in Orlando, in my opinion. So there are some differentiations, but if you look at it, the Magic Kingdom in Orlando and Disneyland itself are actually really, really similar because obviously Orlando was based off of Disneyland. Fun fact. Anyways, let's get to it. Let's talk about Magic Kingdom, and mainly we're going to be talking about Main Street USA. Now, with Main Street USA, first off, when you get to the Magic Kingdom, there's several ways that you can get there. You can get there from the buses from the resorts. You also can get there from, the monorail, but that comes from the Ticket and Transportation Center. But you also can catch the boat from the Ticket and Transportation Center. Now, to get to the Ticket and Transportation Center, you either could do a couple things. You either could take your own personal vehicle and pay. One of my other favorite ways to get around as well is Uber. Uber will drop you off right at where the not the Disney buses, but they'll drop you off at the bus stop at the Ticket and Transportation Center, and all you do is walk right over to the monorail or the boat, and you head on over. So those are the ways you get to the Magic Kingdom. Once you're at Magic Kingdom, you obviously you go through your security check and all that stuff, your fast passes and this and that. And again, if you've been there, you obviously know all this. If you haven't been there, shame on you. You should be there. Magic Kingdom has a great photo op right in the front, and it is basically a mirror image of the one that's at Disneyland in Anaheim, and it is the Mickey head kind of flower bed up on the hill, which with also behind that has the Walt Disney World Railroad train station behind it. So it's a great photo op opportunity. So for this one, we're actually going to kind of start to the right side of Main Street. So when you kind of come in, we are going to kind of go to the right of the train station. You either can enter Magic Kingdom from two different locations. You can enter the Magic Kingdom from the left or the right of the railroad station. You go kind of under the train tracks, and voila, you're in you're at Main Street USA. Now, one of the cool things that Disney does is Disney kind of designed a lot of their parks, especially early on with the Magic Kingdom. They designed it where when you're kind of walking from underneath, especially because Disney or Orlando, Florida is a very sunny place. Now, it doesn't work all the time, but it should work most of the time, especially if it's sunny out. But Disney kind of did a thing where they kind of made everything a certain way where as you're walking through the tunnel from the ticket area into Main Street USA, it almost kind of transitions. The sun kind of is bright, and as you walk through, it kind of goes away, and then boom, you have Main Street USA. You get the music of Disney. It's just such a cool experience. There is no better feeling, in my opinion, than walking underneath those railroad tracks and walking to Main Street USA, because automatically it makes you feel like you're home instantaneously, and that makes me a very, very happy person, and I know my wife will agree on that as well. But we're going to go to the right side of Main Street USA, and the first thing that you're going to come to is there's a there's a couple things you're going to come to first. First off, there are bathrooms before you get under the railroad track, so if you need to go, there you go. But once you go under and you actually officially enter Main Street USA, you are going to come up right away to Town Square Theater. Now, the Town Square Theater is a really cool building, because originally the Town Square Theater was actually used as a theater to show a short movie about Walt Disney, and it kind of explains some of the a little bit of history about him, Mickey Mouse, and all these really cool things. So it was a really cool place to go. Now, they don't do the movies anymore, but they do. It's a meet and greet now for Mickey, and Tinkerbell is in there too, but it's mainly Mickey. And they do actually have a screen in there where they do they should at least almost all the time, they should have some sort of like Mickey Mouse cartoon kind of playing, just to kind of there's the ambiance. But you'll come up to the Town Square Theater, and it's definitely awesome to go into the Town Square Theater and just take a look. A lot of people don't think you can go in because it says meet and greet, but you can go in. Even if you're not planning on doing the meet and greet, you can definitely go in and just kind of take a look around because it is a really, really awesome building. And like I said, it's the, if you're coming in from that direction, it's the very first thing you see. And it reminds you like of a big, grand government style building of a small town in Main Street, USA. And then from Town Square, you go right next door and you hit up Tony's Town Square Restaurant. Now, Tony's Town Square Restaurant is Italian restaurant, and it is, if you don't know where Tony's restaurant came from, Tony's restaurant came from Lady and the Tramp. That is the restaurant in the cartoon where the two dogs are eating the spaghetti and they end up kissing. So Tony's Town Square Restaurant. Now, I have never eaten at Tony's personally. I know people who have, and I've read blogs of people who've actually eaten at Tony's, and the food there, from what I heard from a lot of people, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm going to try this one of these days, I promise. But I've heard kind of mediocre things. I haven't heard great things. I haven't heard horrible things. I've heard kind of mediocre. But one of the things that I know about Tony's, though, is if you can get a reservation at Tony's and pick your own time, and if you plan it right, if you can get a seat outside at nighttime, you can have a great view of the parade going by while you're eating your Italian dinner. So I think that's actually a really cool thing about Tony's, is that it's right there in Main Street. And or right there at the town center of Main Street. And if you're really into like people watching, or like I said, if the parade's coming by, why not? I think that'd be kind of a cool thing to kind of sit there and eat your dinner or lunch or whatever and watch the parades go by or whatever it may be. So I think Tony's is definitely a place that you should put on your list to just at least try. I know it's on my list to try, and that's the problem. There's so many cool places at Disney that I want to try that I don't. There's way too many restaurants. It's hard to try them all. I know people that do like YouTube vlogs, and they live in Orlando, and there's still a bunch of restaurants they've never eaten at before. So I mean, it's really hard. It's not that easy to do at all. But it is what it is. You try your best, and you also take people's words for it as well. So from Tony's, we kind of move kind of right across the little alleyway. You'll see like an area where there's a back gate that goes to behind the scenes of Disney, and right there is the Chapeau, and the Chapeau is their hat place. And if you're looking for a customized Mickey hat, you can go get your embroidered Mickey hat there. They have other stuff too, not just Mickey hats. I mean, they have like the Donald Duck hats, the Goofy hats, the Pluto hats, Chippendale, the Princess Mickey ears, like all the different Mickey ears they have. Like they have little winter hats with Olaf on them, and I mean they got tons of stuff in there, and you can get it embroidered. It's also a place where you can find pins, headbands, and stuff like that. My wife and I actually we didn't buy them there. We actually got them ordered, but for our announcement of our daughter, we actually got some hats made and got them sent to us that said the mom, dad, baby for our big picture and stuff. And so it's I've actually seen them. I've never bought Mickey ears, pretty much just because I don't really wear the Mickey ears. I'm more of a baseball cap type of person if I'm wearing a hat. So I just didn't really saw of spending the money on them because I really wanted. The only Mickey ears that I actually had, and I take that back, is that after my wife and I got married, we went to Disney as like part one of our honeymoon, and we got the groom and bride Mickey hats. Which, by the way, you wear those things to a park, and the attention is all on you. I'm talking about people, and not even just people at the park, but I mean like staff, the cast members are they're all over you. They will stop what they're doing to walk over to you to congratulate you, which is really awesome. It makes you feel really good, and it's a very magical thing to be a part of. But the Chapeau is the place if you're looking, if you want to go get you or yourself, or your kids, embroidered Mickey hat, Mickey ears. It's a good place to go. And now from the Chapeau, you actually can walk through inside. The cool thing about Main Street is all of the places are pretty much interconnected. So you don't even have to leave the place and go back out. So if it's a hot day out, you can walk through from one end to the other, pretty much, and stay in the air conditioning. And the next place that's right there is Main Street Confectionery. Now, Main Street Confectionery is their little bakery area where they have all their stuff, their caramel apples, their Rice Krispie treats, all that stuff. The cool thing about Main Street Confectionery, though, is if you're standing on the outside, and I suggest coming in from the Main Street entrance, is they actually pump scents onto Main Street to make it kind of smell more aromatic. And then when you go inside, I mean, there's a great smell once you're inside, but it's pumped, and so you have like this really big, I forgot even know where the essence. There you go. The essence of a bakery, which is really, really cool. And like I said, Main Street Confectionery has everything. I mean, they got the popcorn. They have like a little area you can do M&Ms, Jelly Bellies in bulk. They have their whole gamut of Mickey-shaped everything. The caramel apples. Caramel apples is usually kind of the one thing that we kind of go for. Whether we're doing it at the confectionery or we go to the Candy Cauldron at Disney Springs, we usually get like one really cool caramel apple to kind of bring and share as our little snack. But Main Street Confectionery is definitely a place to go check out. If you're not planning on eating it right away, I would definitely wait till you're leaving because a lot of their stuff has chocolate on it. And if you're out there, any time that it's hot, which is most of the year in Orlando, the chocolate's going to melt. So if you're not going to eat it right away, make it a trip on your way out, so you can have something to eat on the bus or monorail or wherever you're going. Don't want to tell you what to do. Now, from Main Street Confectionery, we kind of move right next door, and you'll see a marquee on the outside, and it looks like a cinema, and it says Main Street Cinema. You go into Main Street Cinema, and they actually have some pretty cool stuff inside Main Street Cinema. One of the big things that they're known for inside there as well is their Vinylmations. Now, if you guys don't know what Vinylmations are, they are these little kind of collectible characters. They're not dolls, they're not action figures, they're just collectible characters. And usually they're short. And I have a couple Vinylmation like ornaments for Jack Skellington because I'm a huge Jack Skellington Nightmare Before Christmas fan. So a lot of my stuff is Jack Skellington related. And they have a lot of Vinylmations. And the Vinylmations are really cool. And if you're into collecting or you have a kid that has like a Disney room or something, they're a really cool thing to kind of put up on a shelf. You don't really play with them, but I mean, I guess you can if you wanted to, but they're not really used for playing. But if you need something for like a really cool decoration for a bedroom or an office, they're actually really cool. And they're not badly priced. I don't remember the exact cost of them, but I think they range depending on which one you get, but they're not more than like $20, $25, I don't think. They might even be, some of them might even be cheaper, but Vinylmations are pretty cool. And then the other stuff they have inside of the Main Street Cinema as well is they have different type of arts, collectibles, books. They got some biographies in there that are about Walt Disney. They have some books about, just other things Disney related. So, it's a nice place to kind of go get your art and collectibles. Now, I'll probably repeat this a couple times in this podcast, but anytime you're shopping at Disney, minus the food part at the confectionery, because I don't think they do that. Anytime you're shopping at Disney and you want to buy something and you don't want to carry it around with you, you could actually get it sent up to the front, and I'll actually get into that when we go to the left side of Magic King or Main Street USA. But you could actually get it shipped up, and you can pick it up on your way outside the park. And I'll tell you a little bit where to do that as well. But that's a really cool thing Disney does, so you don't have to worry about dragging a bag everywhere with you. Right next to the cinema it's right in the corner of like a little alleyway, and you have Uptown Jewelers. Uptown Jewelers is exactly what it sounds like. It is featured by Pandora Jewelry, so everything pretty much in there is Pandora related. So if you have someone that's into Pandora bracelets or necklaces or whatever, you can go and get all your little Disney charms to put on the Pandora. They do have some other stuff too, though. They got like handbags for women or men. They have watches, Disney figurines. They have sketches. If I remember last time I was in there too, I believe they even have some of those what they call the lithographs. And I mean, they have a lot of cool stuff like that. So if you once again, if you're trying to decorate, like I like to find really cool Disney stuff. I'm more into like the eBay Disney because I like to find things that are nostalgic and old. But if you're looking for like Disney art and collectible type stuff, you can definitely find it at the Uptown Jewelers, and also, like I said, at the cinema. They're both kind of along the same lines. They kind of go from art collectibles into the jewelry. Now, there's, like I said, you kind of have a really cool like little alleyway, and the nice thing about the alley is if you're trying to just get away from the crowd and just kind of want to sneak away a little bit, there's some seating back in this little alleyway, which is kind of nice, and you can kind of go back there, have a coffee or water, and just kind of get off your feet if you needed to. So it's a nice little area, just to kind of go. And then once you leave the alleyway and you kind of continue towards the castle, one of the big things you're going to come up next up to is Main Street Bakery. Now, Main Street Bakery actually used to be a bakery. Now it is a Starbucks. It's funny because I hear people say, "Oh, I wish I had the bakery back." Yet you see them going into Starbucks. I go in there every single time because it's Disney. You're gonna be there all day. You need to pick me up at some point. So I always go in there and grab some strong coffee. If you hit up there in the morning, you haven't eaten breakfast yet, you can grab some pastries. It's a typical Starbucks. But the one cool thing about the Starbucks though is you can't get it anywhere else. Is they have park-specific coffee mugs, and now every park has their own own specific coffee mug. It's for the Magic Kingdom, one for Epcot, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, all that type of stuff. So, and so if you need that specific Magic Kingdom cup, you can make your way into Starbucks and get it. But other than that, it's a typical Starbucks. If you know what the menu looks like at Starbucks, they have it. They have some food there. Like I said, they have the sandwiches, the cake pops, all their little breakfast sandwiches and little pastries and stuff like that. So if you haven't had a chance to eat anywhere yet, it is a good place to go. Now, so you kind of move from Starbucks and keep your way moving to the castle. And you're going to go up to the end of that side of Main Street. And there's two different places. Both of them are called Plaza. One is the Plaza Ice Cream Parlor, and the other one's the Plaza Restaurant. So the Plaza Ice Cream Parlor is right on the corner, and then the Plaza Restaurant is just around the corner, kind of like if you were going to take the back way over to Tomorrowland Terrace Restaurant. But if you stop at the Plaza Ice Cream first, which it's kind of another one that if you want to, great. I usually kind of do it on the way out. We'll get ice cream and then cross the street and kind of beeline to the exit. But they actually have some really good ice creams. And they do like the traditional floats, waffle bowl sundaes, like Mickey cones. And the one thing they have is actually, it's called the kitchen sink. And it's a small, not small. It's a good amount of ice cream that you would get in it. But it's a little small type kitchen sink, collectible kitchen sink. That's shaped like Mickey's pants, and they fill it up with all your ice cream, all your toppings, and it's a good thing to do if you want to share with someone. I'm sure people can probably eat it all on their own, but I know that would probably cause some major stomach aches, so I would not even try it if I were you. But you can go in there and get some good ice cream, and the kitchen sink is just kind of something fun to do if you want to share with someone, and you have a collectible to go home with, which is cool. Eat cereal out of it or do whatever. I'm not going to tell you what to do. It's your Mickey bowl. Anyways, and you go right around the corner to the Plaza Restaurant. And the Plaza Restaurant, pretty much how I could describe the Plaza Restaurant would be, I guess you would say just like kind of a bunch of different typical American-ish type food. I'm trying to look at their menu right now, and I was having trouble pulling it up, but there we go. But they got things like loaded fries, they got soup, they have meatloaf, cheeseburger, grilled Reubens, fried green tomato sandwiches, cheesesteak, grilled chicken. So a lot of kind of like American classics from around the area, and then some other just Americanized food kind of tossed in there. And once again, I've never really eaten there. Only reason why is because across Main Street USA is probably one of my favorite stops of all time at Disney, and we'll get into that when we go to the west side. So it's once again, I kind of always gravitate towards the things that I'm used to. I gravitate towards the things that I know I like, and I know I need to kind of expand my horizons a little bit. I know I need to get out there and try other places, but I'll be honest, y'all, it's hard. It's hard to kind of move forward with that, but. With that being said, let's move back to the left side of Main Street. Now let's go back to the front of Main Street because I like to kind of work our way towards the castle. So let's go to the left side of Main Street, and if we're left side of the train station, the first thing that you are going to find on that side is you're going to find the Main Street Chamber of Commerce. Now, earlier on, I told you about if you're going gift shopping and you buy some stuff and you don't want to carry it around with you, or you don't want to get a locker or anything like that. One of the things that you can do is you can get it shipped or sent up to the Chamber of Commerce up at the front. And on your way out, you can stop in there. You can pick it up. You know, you show them kind of like, I believe you show them proof of ID or receipt. I think it's a receipt, to be honest with you. I've actually never had them hold anything. The only thing I've ever had them do is send it back to my resort. So I'm not sure how that works. I haven't really done it yet, but I just know that you get it sent up to the Chamber of Commerce and you can go pick it up. And I'm assuming it's probably your receipt or an ID or something like that. But I think that's a really cool feature that Disney does, so you don't have to worry about carrying all your stuff around with you. If you go right next to Chamber of Commerce is where you find City Hall. City Hall, one of the things I'll tell you is that there's bathrooms that are right between City Hall and the firehouse. So if you start on the left side and you need to use the restroom, that is where your restroom is going to be, is kind of right in that little, I kind of call it like a little garden between the firehouse and City Hall. Now, City Hall, it's kind of your guest services. Anything that you need guest service-wise, if you have questions, if you, let's say you're there and you want buttons for certain occasions. Now, if you guys don't know what the buttons are, to give you a quick idea of what it is that if there's Disney first that you're doing, whether it's, let's say it's your first trip, it is your honeymoon, you got engaged, anniversaries, whatever it may be, you know, your first child's visit, whatever, they have buttons that you can go get that commemorate that. And you can go there to City Hall and get that. Or if you just have random general Magic Kingdom questions, you can go there and they'll answer everything for you. The other cool thing that Disney does, though, is that all their cast members, even down to the janitors, know that park. So if you get halfway down Main Street and you're like, oh man, I had a question, you don't have to go run back. Just find a cast member. And cast members are really good and really knowledgeable. And the only reason I say like kind of the janitors is because we had a janitor that came up to us and he was just sweeping up, you know, garbage and all that type of stuff. Which, by the way, pick up your own garbage at Disney. Like, don't drop it on the ground. But he was basically, you know, just doing some things, and my wife and I were trying to take a picture, and then he came over and asked if he can take it. And he was just one of the coolest guys. Like, you could ask him any questions. He was very knowledgeable about Disney. You knew that he wasn't just there for a job. Like, he loved Disney, which is awesome, which I find a lot of cast members do, which is great. So City Hall is for that. Now, right next to the City Hall, on the other side of the bathrooms, like I was saying, is the firehouse. Now, with the firehouse is really cool because I don't know how much you know about the Disney Firehouse, but the one in Disneyland, Walt Disney, when he was building Disneyland, actually had a little apartment up on the top of the firehouse there, and that way he can kind of look over everything, walk through the park if he wanted to, and this and that. So For me, the firehouse is always a photo op stop. One, because I'm a firefighter. Number two, it's just really cool, because of the history of the Disney Firehouse. Now, what the Disney Firehouse is now, and I think I talked about this I did talk about this in that live 411 episode I did, the very first one I did, is Disney got very interactive. Everything that Disney does now is kind of immerses you into the Disney experience. And they do something now called Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom. And what it is, it's a card game. And you go to the firehouse and you can grab or sign up and they give you a thing of cards. And then what you do is you kind of go around the park and there's different spots located all around Magic Kingdom. And they're interactive, like displays, and some of I'll tell you where the first one is. The first one is actually in one of the front windows that's facing the train station of the Emporium. And you kind of can go and you can use these cards and you can fight the evil Disney villains with these cards, and they're all interactive. And I think that's just a really cool thing, again, to kind of immerse you in to the Magic Kingdom. And if you listen to the Disney 411, the first episode, I also talked about Disney Play, which is an app that you can do. I highly recommend downloading Disney Play because as you're walking around Disney or sitting in a queue for a ride, you can kind of keep yourself busy and interact with all these different Disney things around the park. So definitely do that. But the Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom is a really cool thing, and all you're doing is you're basically going around with these cards and you're casting magical spells from Merlin to basically defeat Disney villains. It's just a really cool thing, and it's for anybody. It really is. Like, it's not just for kids. Adults, I can guarantee you, adults are going to fall in love with this, and they're gonna love doing it as well. So definitely check that out. And then from the firehouse, you'll actually kind of go right past the car barn. And the car barn they'll have if you ever see the people on Main Street that have the old car and they come and do the song and dance, that's where they store the car. You used to be able to go in there, but no longer. It's roped off, but you can peek your head in because they do have it roped off with the doors open. So you can kind of peek in and see what's right there. Now, one cool thing that you can do at Disney that I didn't even know for the longest time, and then one day I randomly went up to the window and I was like, oh, people are getting their hair cut in there. There's the Harmony Barbershop. And the Harmony Barbershop is across from the firehouse and right next to the Emporium. And it is a old-fashioned barbershop that you can legitimately get your hair cut in, which I never knew. Now, they do have limited walk-ups. They don't allow a lot of people to walk up to it and get your hair cut. They do have some openings, so if you can walk in there and say, and they can be like, we don't, I can squeeze you in 20 minutes or whatever. But they recommend that you call 407 WDW Play, so Walt Disney World Play, or it's 407-939-7529, and you could actually call and make advance reservations to get your hair cut. One of these times I'm gonna do it. I think it would be really kind of cool to go get your haircut old fashioned, and from people that I've heard from, is they actually do a good job. It's not just like great clips. I mean, they actually do really good haircuts there. Now let's go to the Mecca, the Mecca of Disney swag. And that is the Emporium. Bum, 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 bum. The Emporium is huge. It literally stretches the whole left side of Main Street. And it is every single Disney merchandise that you will ever want. Now, I told you that World of Disney in Disney Springs was, a massive gift shop. And it is. But the Emporium is just so cool because as you're kind of walking through the Emporium, you kind of feel like a transition in, kind of a worldly transition. It kind of goes old-timey into kind of I guess you can say our modern day feels. But the Emporium is really cool because the Emporium is broken up into several different kind of areas. And they have everything from your normal apparel Disney stuff, your t-shirts, your sweatshirts, your your scarves, your mugs, your plush toys, all that type of stuff. Even have your Mickey ears, your magic bands. They even sell like food and all these different type of gifts. They even sell shoes there. Like Mickey or Minnie Mouse shoes, like, all that really, so they got everything. Like, if you want to shop at Disney for memorabilia to bring home, or even just a gift for somebody, the Emporium is a must stop. You have to go into the Emporium. And like, again, on a hot day, it's nice because it goes all the way from the front of Main Street all the way to like basically the end of all those buildings where you come out and you see Cinderella's castle. So if it's really hot out, it's definitely a nice day, or definitely a nice idea to kind of get out of the heat and walk around inside the air conditioning. And I'll give you one extra tidbit. If there's a parade going on and you're on that side, it is the easiest way to get from the back to the front. Or at the end of the night when everyone's leaving, typically everyone rushes Main Street. They sit on Main Street and they kind of push their way through. If you go through Casey's Corner on the very end, and you can go through Casey's Corner and just shoot all the way to the front and bypass, I'm talking about like 10, 15 minutes of people pushing and shoving, trying to get out of Magic Kingdom. So that's a fun tidbit. Sneak through the stores. Most likely you're going to try to sneak through the stores on your way out, and you're going to end up stopping and buying something, because we do. Now, Casey's Corner. I told you before that the reason I haven't really eaten at the Plaza is because across the way is one of my favorite restaurants of all time at Disney, and it is Casey's Corner. It is hot dog heaven, ladies and gentlemen. And when I mean hot dog heaven, it legitimately is hot dog heaven. That's what Casey's Corner is, by the way. It's all hot dogs. Not all hot dogs. They have some different type of sausages and stuff like that. But Casey's Corner is kind of a cool baseball-themed, kind of like you're at the ballpark grabbing like a dog back in the old days. And their food is awesome. They have their, all beef foot-long hot dogs and stuff like that. Their chili cheese all beef footlongs. There's some new ones that are on here that I haven't seen in a little while. One of them is a bacon macaroni and cheese hot dog. That sounds really interesting. A plant-based hot dog, and I'm not really sure about the plant-based hot dog. I'm not sure if I'm sold on it, but I probably won't be trying it. But if you have and you like it, please let me know. Write me on Facebook and tell me if it's good or not. I'm not into plant-based things. So, but they got some really cool stuff too, like bacon macaroni and cheese French fries, chili and cheese French fries, something loaded mashed potato French fries, and that's something that's new that I haven't had before. And his French fries topped with garlic mashed potatoes, caramelized onions, cheddar, bacon, scallion sour cream drizzle, and green onions. And the crazy part about it is that the loaded mashed potatoes, everything I just told you, is the same exact price as just chili cheese fries. And only $2 more than a regular order of French fries. So I think it might actually be worth trying. I might. We'll see. If I'm glutton for punishment, I might try it. But they also have something else there that I got before. It's called the Frozen Mint Julep Lemonade. And that is actually really good and really refreshing on a hot day. So if it's hot out there and you're looking for something to kind of cool yourself down, that is actually a really good one, is the Frozen Mint Julep. Now, the last place that we're going to talk about is the Crystal Palace. Because other than the Crystal Palace, there's really not much left in that Main Street USA. Now, we can go all the way to the castle, but I'm not going to really talk about anything in the castle because that kind of ties in with Fantasyland. But definitely, part of the photo ops, and we'll kind of go over the photo ops after I talk about Crystal Palace, but definitely, include the castle into Main Street USA. Now, Crystal Palace is you can get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And it's Winnie the Pooh and friend character meet and greet while you're eating. So if you're into Winnie the Pooh and all the friends, Roo, Kanga, Tigger, Eeyore, Piglet, if you're into all those characters, it actually really is cool. And I've actually eaten there before. I've done the breakfast there, and it was actually really cool to. I'll post a picture up on Facebook of myself and Eeyore, and I think I have one of myself and Winnie the Pooh as well. But it was actually really great food. I like the Crystal Palace. I didn't have anything wrong with the Crystal Palace. I think the food was actually really good. Now, that was breakfast. So I don't know how lunch and dinner is, but the breakfast was great. I actually enjoyed it. Now, here's a fun tidbit about the breakfast is that you could actually get a reservation time at 8 in the morning. Now, if you know Disney, or you know Magic Kingdom isn't open till 9. So the cool thing about the 8 o'clock is if you can get an 8 o'clock breakfast is that you can get in the Magic Kingdom before anybody else is even in there, except for the people that work there and the people who are having breakfast at Crystal Palace with you. But if you can get an 8 o'clock reservation and get done with your eating and everything like that, you can make it to the front of the castle for the kickoff celebration to open the Magic Kingdom for the day, and you can get a nice front row view of that, which is really cool. And the other cool thing about doing that too, and I like to say, don't do front row per se, but kind of know what your plan is. Know what rides you want to ride, and especially if you're going to ride a ride at Magic Kingdom that is kind of usually has long lines. My suggestion is to try to find a spot next to the walkway closest to a direct path of how to get there. And remember, after the opening ceremony celebration is over, you cannot go right through the castle because they have it blocked off. The characters are, going in and out of there and everything. So you can't go right through the castle right away. So you have to kind of go around it. But I always suggest that if you do the early 8 o'clock, breakfast at Crystal Palace, eat, go for the show, get yourself lined up so you can get to your ride, and you practically can walk right on. You can probably get 3 to 4 of the big rides done before 9 o'clock if you start right off, because you can pretty much have no longer than a 15-minute wait, and that 15-minute wait is your walk pretty much to the actual entrance of the ride. But a couple of the other tidbits, though, before we wrap this episode up, is the photo ops. Now, obviously, the castle has some of the best photo ops you can possibly get, and you kind of want that Main Street USA front of the castle photo op. So what I usually try to recommend is try to get as center as you possibly can. And now, when you're at Disney, in the middle, like right in front of the castle, there's like a little kind of park area, and it has a bronze statue of Walt and Mickey. If you can, it's really cool to kind of get yourself a picture with Walt and Mickey with the castle in the background. It would be a great photo op. Now, they have people that are taking photos, and if you see someone that's there that's a cast member taking photos of people, they're usually standing in the best spots. So if you can try to sneak your own photo in somewhere around where they're taking photos, you're going to get one of the best picturesque photos you could possibly get. The other thing, don't forget, is around that bronze statue of Walt and Mickey, there's actually little pedestals around there that actually have miniature bronze statues of other characters like Chip and Dale and Dumbo and Pluto and stuff like that. And they're just really kind of cool if you want to just look at them or even get some cool photos for a wall at home. Good photo ops. But this is my insider tidbit I want to give you. One of the best photo ops of the castle, and also you can get Main Street USA in it, is when you get there, go up to the platform area of the train. And not on the train side, but on the actual Main Street USA side. And you're elevated, and you can get a fantastic photo of yourself with Main Street USA and the castle in the background. And the best part of it is that you're elevated, so you don't have random people in your photobombing you, or like people just kind of standing around looking for other people. It's nice because you're elevated. You don't have to worry about anybody else in your photo. You'll see people in the background, but they're going to be tiny and small. You're not going to see them. So it's a good way to kind of treasure your memories at Magic Kingdom with a good castle pick. So that is it for Main Street USA. I think I touched base on everything with Main Street. There might be a couple small things that I may have left out. but I don't think I left too much out or detail-wise. But that's it. That's Main Street USA, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're going to go to Magic Kingdom, you can use the tips that I gave you, or make up your own, or kind of do a combination of. If you have been to Magic Kingdom and you want to add some stuff to it, please write us on Facebook. And let us know of your experience with Magic Kingdom. Like I said, this is a community. I want all of us to be doing this together. So talk with me, and we will make this one big giant Disney family. So once again, thank you so much for joining me. This is episode 4. Stay tuned for episode 5 and beyond, which is going to be more Magic Kingdom. You guys have a blessed day and a magical one. Bye-bye.